we got going on today. Jacob's here, Caleb's here, taking the black go-kart, putting this 440cc two-stroke on it from Snowmobile. We already got this thing started last night. Made a nice engine mount. It's going to drop right on without cutting the frame up at all, so we can put Predator back on if we need to. That used fire extinguisher from our last shenanigans is going to become our fuel tank. And well, there's the fuel tank that came with it. And yeah, we also upgraded the seat, or halfway's upgraded the seat with an old BMW seat. And so yeah, we're going to finish the mount, add a disc brake so we can actually stop and let her rip. Also made the new shop seat last night with a old Miata seat on a nice Harbor Freight dolly. Super comfortable. So we got the axle out of the cart so we can add the disc brake in. The bearings are seized pretty good, so gonna put it in the press and get them off. We modified the press with the last go-kart. Took this frame into two pieces so we can sandwich anything bigger and then hold it together with the ratchet strap. Works pretty well. Bearing number one. You guys want some safety glasses? No? No? Yep. There we go. That's how we like it. Honestly, it's gone better than I anticipated. Oh yeah. Pretty much this whole build has actually been that way. Shut up. Must just be that our skills are that good. Cleaning the axle so the bearings go back on smooth. If we have to do maintenance later, hopefully it won't be quite as much of a pain. Alright, so we cleaned up the axle. That's working well. It's all lubed up too. Lube's important. Now we're opening this up a little more so that the axle fits in better. The old brake drum we had to weld on a couple months ago, so it's tighter than it should be here. So the brake rotor we have on a hub, but the hub doesn't have any provisions or room to bolt the brake rotor on. So we're just going to weld it, and then it'll be ready to put on the cart. Jacob's getting that on the final clearance scene. I guess I'm standing up for this one. Yeah, don't worry. Folding up in here.
on fire.
There's more gas there.
I know, and the glove was on fire.
It happens. There we go. Alright, so we're going to mount up the engine bracket so we can figure out the final mounting of the engine. This bracket, I got 4 bolts dropped through and tack welded, so we put the nuts on and it'll drop right onto the plate we had the Predator on. So we can totally unbolt this setup and put a Predator on if we want to. That'll drop right there. And then you can see the 2-stroke engine has a plate on the bottom. It's got 4 bolts going up into the engine, so the heads of those bolts stick down. That's why I got these holes here. It just drops right on, and then drop 4 bolts through the plate in here. And then this side piece here is for the clutch plate, which is right here. Now it's going to bolt up to there. Exact location to be determined. So, but that's the next step, and also figuring out where the brake rotor and how we're mounting the caliper. So, I'm going to mount that up and go from there. Okay, so the next step we're doing is building a fuel tank. Last time we had a big go-kart event, it required the use of a fire extinguisher. But I saved the fire extinguisher because I thought it would make a cool fuel tank. So I chopped the top off to get started. I would like to keep it for looks, but it's just not going to be easy to do for this time. Maybe another build. So I have a section of black pipe threaded and a cap. We're going to chop that down, put it right on top. We'll paint it red to match. And then on the bottom we got another black pipe adapter. I drilled a hole. It actually threads right in right now, but I'll weld around it so it's fully sealed. And then in that we got a little nipple there. We'll put the fuel line on that. And then the goal is to have that probably on this back upright, and we'll probably mount another fire extinguisher on the other one, and hopefully we don't get too confused. That one will be a real fire extinguisher. Probably gonna also use some old chain to mount it / look cool. A band or two. I don't know. It's a little bit of a work in progress, but should be cool. Okay, so the new fuel tank is welded up. Not too bad. Still learning, but not too bad. Got that in there. Not putting the nipple on yet because that's brass and I don't want it to get too hot. Mostly same with the cap, but that's not nearly as bad. So that's what it's going to look like. We'll paint it all red, and I think it's going to go about there. I think it'll work pretty well. So next up, exhaust. The interesting thing with this one is with the rotation of the engine, the exhaust is pointing forward and the intake's on the back. So these are the pipes that came with it. Kind of janky, but we're going to make use of them because it's very tight in between here and the seat. So we're going to use this elbow on there to bring it out this way. I'm going to show you just with the first one so far. We're going to chop them about there and then weld it together so that the elbow comes out right there. And then the second one do the same, but bring it out a little bit farther back so that it's kind of matching the angle of the roll bar. We'll see if it works. I'm going to give it a shot. Probably going to suck, but okay. think that'll look pretty cool.
That's a wrap!
Alright, so exhaust is on here. Loosely, it's not solid mounted yet. But we took those elbows that came with it, added 90 degrees, and I spaced them out so they go like that. They'll have a little more of a gap. Magnets there just holding it for now, but I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. We're about to do a test fire, see how it sounds, make sure everything's lined up good. Jacob got the axle figured out, and so we're just getting the final adjustments on that, and it's getting ready for final assembly.
Ready?
Hold on. Okay.
It's because you got the camera gun behind
I know.
What?
I was figuring that's why. Go ahead. Oh crap. Alright, so now I'm working on the brake.
So now I'm working on the brake. Alright, okay, so
Alright, so the brake rotor's on with the axle. The axle's pretty much in place. Jacob's finishing that up. I'm working on the brake caliper, mounting it up where I think I'm going to put it about here. We want the bleeder up. I'm going to have to trim this old brake drum down to give it some clearance. But then that's going to go up to here, and we're going to do it as a hand brake. So next up there is making some brackets to hold all that. Probably going to be a pain, but it is what it is. Alright, it's Sunday. We're all here. Tyler's here today. He woke up. We were out here till what, about 4 last night. Got the brake caliper mounted up. Only took about 3 tries. It was kind of a pain. Got the drift brake set up. E-brake, whatever you want to call it. Works pretty well as far as we can tell. Exhaust is buttoned up, mounted in place. I was going to put a mount out here, but they're pretty solid without that, so unless we find an issue down the road, that'll be good. We're doing final cleanup and tweaks before we load it up and take it over for tuning and testing. Anything you got to say?
like and subscribe to the channel.
Mounted the wreath up. It was on the back. It's an inside joke. Tyler hates wreaths, apparently. So, I'll do it this way.
One for every holiday.
Boom! Alright, so coils apparently have to be separated, so we have 2 kill switches. Cuts off each coil. If you put them together, it doesn't work. Hopefully it works. This is the first test. Seems to work.
Needs a little bit more throw.
Want me to fire it up here?
Yeah. Yeah, hold it just a tad right about there probably.
Sparks fly. What was spark? Mine's on his head. Huh? I have mine on his head. Can't tell if it's not running right or if that's
him killing the switch.
Oh, really? Has he drifted the turn yet?
He's not gotten into it. He's already shut down one cylinder.
Why?
It's got a lot of power in the turn.
Brake not tight enough.
What do you mean?
Is it not stopping it?
It'll stop it. You kind of got to pump it.
Oh, really? So, what do you think? Is it worth the headache?
You see me coming in there? You see my rear end get out from under me?
Yeah. How's that feel?
Scary.
Can I try? Let's go for a ride.
Yeah, you sometimes have to kind of pump it, but
That's good to know. Tell my wife I love her.
let's see if she starts. Ready?
Yep.